Hey there, lovelies. Welcome to Tea Time with Ty. It's me, daughter of the Most High. Brace yourself, because this tea might just transform your life. Hey there, lovelies. Welcome to the Reading Chair, and welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Ty. And it's me, Ty, aka God's daughter, because I am God's daughter. And today, guys, I am going to be reading another segment from my book, Spilling My Tea. And it is going to be about my experience with molestation, but also how that impacted me. And then we're going to discuss. So without further ado, honey, let's get started. After a long day of summer fun with her cousin, Ty lied on one end of the couch while the adult man lied on the other, watching a movie. He reached over to Ty and began tickling her. Stop it! Ty laughed uncontrollably. The man stopped tickling her and slowly began to caress her body as he pulled her small body upon his. Ty's body stiffened, eyes stuck open with shock and fear. The man then pulled out his private and attempted to penetrate her. Startled, she then quickly jumped up and back, confused by what had just happened. She ran and sat in a corner with her legs folded, holding them against her chest. The man then spoke and said, I stopped loving people who disappoint me," and lay back on the couch with his hands behind his head. Ty woke up the next morning next to her uncle, not knowing how she got there, vividly remembering the events of the previous night, but too ashamed and afraid to mention the details. "I want to go home today," she told her auntie. So she went home. When she got home, she sat in the bathroom for hours. Her mom, concerned, gently knocked on the door and asked if she was okay. "Yes, ma'am," Ty responded. This was the third time something like this had happened. I was beginning to think that it was somehow my fault. I wondered what signals was I sending out to attract this unwanted attention. Furthermore, this began to awaken my sexual curiosity within me. Nevertheless, I vowed to myself to suppress my curiosity and never speak of these occurrences. Well, I had kept silent about what I experienced, but my curiosity got the best of me. I mean, I wasn't going so far as to having sex in the traditional sense for a while, but I learned how to pleasure myself at a young age, and I had started experimenting with in other areas with boys and sometimes girls. I never desired to be in a relationship with a female, but was attracted to them. I was dealing with what I didn't learn until I was well into adulthood, the spirit of perversion. Okay, so that was, yeah. So this was, guys, as I stated in my story, this was my third incident of molestation. And I didn't know why these things were happening. I didn't do anything. I didn't know if it was the way that I looked. I didn't have a body, honey. I was scrawny, scrawny little, tiny little girl. I didn't understand why these men were attracted to me in that way. But as a result of me going through these things, I began to have these feelings that I didn't quite understand, these urges that I didn't quite understand. And I found myself pleasuring myself and eventually connected with other people that was experiencing the same types of urges and feelings that I was. And we connected with each other in ways that was inappropriate and that was sexually immoral. And a lot of the times this is how things begin, and it becomes a habit, and it becomes an addiction, and becomes a curse. You get what I'm saying? So let's talk about that. Okay, so you could never understand why you do what you do until you understand where why you do what you do came from. It's called root cause analysis. If there's a problem, then you have to get to the root of that problem. You have to go backwards to find out and identify what the issue was that resulted in the problem that you are now experiencing. And looking at it for this situation, when you see a young lady or even a young man that is promiscuous, a lot of the times they were introduced to this well before adulthood. They were introduced to this, or maybe even born into it. Some people aren't even molested, but if you maybe had a parent that was molested and that parent was very promiscuous, and then in promiscuity that parent conceived you, or made you, and then you were born into that, and that is what you call a curse. So that parent experienced that, and then that parent continue with that lifestyle, not knowing, why they were dealing with these things, and they were having these urges and these addictions and these habits, and then they continue into parenthood with the same thing, never getting to the root of their issue. Therefore, that never gets resolved. And now the child is born into it. And now the child is experiencing these urges, and they're not understanding where it's coming from either. And they may hear things like, oh, yeah, if you were molested, you would be like this. And they may think in their minds, well, I wasn't molested, so I don't have a problem. I just like sex. I just like doing this. These are just the feelings that I like. And unfortunately, society makes us think that these things are normal. It's okay to pleasure yourself. It's okay to have casual sex. It is okay, but it's not. This is called the spirit of perversion. Because sexual relations of any sort was created for the sanctity of marriage. It was created, honestly, for us to be able to enjoy the reproductive process, for God to have us to be fruitful and multiply. But he wanted us to have that pleasurable experience as husband and wife. Notice I said as husband and wife. So within doing that really does negate the original purpose. It creates counterproductivity. So me going through those experiences, it had caused me to want to do things that I really didn't want to do, but I feel like I needed to do it. I felt like they were urges. Like I really felt like, okay, I got to do this. I don't know what this is, but I got to get it out of me. I have to, feel this sensation. They really were urges. And so there's so many people who experience molestation. They experience, even if the parent experiences it and the child does not experience it. That's why I said curses, because if the parents were molested, if the parents were molested and that is never addressed, and there is promiscuity that they suffered with and they dealt with, and that's going to trickle down to their seed. Because if that child is conceived in that's going to, cause that spirit to be in that child, and that child may grow up having these urges and acting on these urges and unaware of where they're coming from, or even that is something that they're not supposed to be doing. Have you ever been molested? Do you know someone who has? If you have, did you speak up? If you did speak up, did you feel that you had a good support system? Do you feel that some of your behavioral patterns as you were growing up, that experience contributed to it? Is it something that you have already dealt with, or is it something that you're still dealing with? If you see someone who is experiencing or going through something of that nature, or even someone that you may just believe is just a tad bit overtly sexual or promiscuous, are you graceful with them? Meaning not judging them, not calling them thoughts or HOEs, calling them nasty. Have you considered what they may have experienced, or what their parents may have experienced? Let me know. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this session, but not before I share with you a piece of encouragement. This is called God's Got You. Sister, I know you feel tired and weak, carrying every burden on your shoulders while walking in shoes of concrete. Brother, I know that you're having a hard time trying to live up to the standards of what's right, while wrong always seems to be the easiest route to take. When the voices surrounding your physical seems louder than the ones that you know to be true. So I want to share with you, you who thinks that no one understands how you feel, you who feels that no one feels your pain, you who still wonders whether God is real. He is realer than you and me. Everything that we are able to obtain does not equate to the magnitude of his greatness. Just trust him and you'll see. He's always there and always will be. So release the burden to him and choose his ways, because when you do, peace and joy will overflow in spite of challenges, and you will know that no matter what, God's got you. God's got you, sister. God's got you, brother. Keep it pushing and keep it moving no matter what. And I admonish you that the next time that you see someone and you are wanting to judge them, and you are wanting to place judgment, instead replace that judgment with grace. If you have made it this far, please hit the like, subscribe, comment down below, and honey, please hit that notifications bell so you will not miss another video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next time. Okay, bye.